All right, welcome back to another episode of Mr. King KMK. This is where I bring you a short recap, at the very least, the next day after every Knicks game. Now, previously, it was on my Knicks, Mr. King KMK channel. I will also start premiering this also on Knicks Morning Coffee. So, like, comment, subscribe to both, and here we go. All right, last night we took care of the New Jersey Nets. It was a fairly even game for the most part. The Knicks had the upper hand. How it got down to a 15-point lead in the fourth quarter and needing the game winner from Jalen Brunson, we can break that down. But coming off the loss we had the other night, it was encouraging to see Jalen Brunson. He missed the game winner the other night and then came back tonight and got one. Or excuse me, last night and got one. But in any event, the Knicks are showing progress. Now, we had to play last night's game without our starting center, Cat, and then they also had to play their game without their starting center. We also had to play without Deuce McBride. And that just gave other people a chance to step up in this early season so we can start to get a feel for what we got. And one thing we know about the New York Knicks is going to be nicks and bruises and bumps along the way. And then guys always told, stay ready and be ready at all times because you just never know when Tibbs is going to call your number. Now, to watch our backup centers get all that playing time, that was encouraging to me. Sims had, 7 rebounds, 4 points. You want more, but I can live with that because he's active. Porty came in and did a very nice job as a backup, and you would kind of like to see him get more minutes, not just because of injury, but we also know Tibbs, it's a numbers game. The past 2 games, he did play 9 guys after previously just going with 7. That's not going to work for us. Guys just going to get banged up just from playing too many minutes. But you look at our overall performance last night, we handled the Nets for the most part. I think what we got to do, we still vulnerable to the closeout. And as long as they can swing and hit the man in the corner and get all these threes on us, we're going to have a problem. And we got to figure that out. Now, we also know that Tibbs' MO on defense is, every man with a foot in the paint. And it's just making it harder for guys to get back because they are trying to help. And once you even look in the direction of help, the ball is swinging past you, and then they're getting wide open threes. And it always seems to be one guy on the other team who's not the star to light us up. And last night it was Thomas. And I think he blew us up for like 40 plus. And that's happening every game, and we got to try to figure that out. Now, we know we have wing defenders. That's going to help us moving forward. It probably shouldn't be a problem down the stretch because we tend to play better and way more focused in close games. And it just would be nice sometimes just to go put them away. Now, the Nets, they don't have any stars, but they got decent players. So in this NBA, you're not just going to walk up on teams and just dominate every night. But whatever our game plan was, for the most part, it looked like we stuck to that because you've seen good ball movement, and then you also seen guys taking the man off the dribble when he had him. It was encouraging to see OG Anunoby when a small guy on him in the post, no fooling around, turn, spin, bang, and he's getting several dunks every game. So he's showing his value of why it was imperative that we re-sign him in the offseason. Miles Bridges, can't say enough about him and how he's going to continue to grow and find his niche on his team. And it's going to take still a little bit more time, but as he do, the Eastern Conference got to watch out. And then, Brunson, he's definitely figuring it out. I mean, it was a little easier probably not having Cat because you don't have to defer. But once Brunson and Cat get totally on the same page, and that's going to have to really come from Brunson. We knew what we brought Cat in here to do, and then Brunson have to figure out how they work it in there together. And then when you start bringing in Miles Bridges, OG can fit in. He already know, I picked my spots. But Miles Bridges, to me, got to be that third guy that we weave in there and then have a nucleus of center, forward, and guard that makes it just very difficult for other teams to stop. But I also see where Tibbs' emphasis was put on defense last night because you see guys a little bit more locked in early. We've been having a tendency to just come out, playing laid back. That's not our style. We can't win that way. We got to have a purpose for the full 48 minutes that we on the floor. And when we do that, that's when teams start seeing what the New York Knicks is all about. Now, as far as an identity, I think we're still working on it. I think the way we left last season, it looked like we was going to come back to that. But when you make wholesale changes the way we do, 2 major changes, it just takes time to gel. And I think too, once, especially Precious, then we can get a feel. I don't know why he's out so long, but when Precious come back and he get a lot of those minutes with Cat, and now guys can, the perimeter, they can even guard a little harder because you got more muscle back there. Not that Josh Hart, he's doing what he got to do. He's a great rebounder for us, but we need big bodies. We're getting pushed around down there, especially when teams are going with two-headed monsters. We just got to get a little bit bigger, and not necessarily mean more scoring, because we got four guys. Even if you started Sims, we got four guys that capable of going off at any given time. So we don't necessarily have to have five scores. What we have to have is five guys in sync defensively. So I'm looking to see how we evolve, the next coming weeks. And I'm looking at somewhere around mid-December to start seeing that gel really, really start to come together. That when we step on the court, especially at home, that you can pretty much pencil in a W. And I want to see us get back to that. But again, it takes time. Now, last night's game also was one of those in-season tournament games for us. And now we 2-0 in that, but we also know it just doesn't go by wins. It goes by margin of victory. And that was a slim victory last night. Points-wise, it probably don't help us, but we'll see what happens with that as time goes on. Not that I really even care about the in-season tournament right now. If we should get there in the end for that play-in thing they have and make it to Vegas, that's different. But for right now, I'm just hoping to see our team gel. And I also like the fact that Tibbs put in our rookies last night. And Porty he just had to play. And then Dottie, he got some time. He ain't look bad. To see him out there with at least three starting players, it shows that he belongs, and he only going to get better himself, and his confidence is only going to grow. And anytime you can have outside shooting and young legs, you can't never argue with that. So, kudos to Tibbs for even tapping him to get him some minutes. Now, I also know that Matt Ryan also was out for injury, had a DNP last night. So, guys going to get their time. It's not going to be every day for them young boys, but they're going to get time. I also was encouraged with Campaign. I mean, he's a veteran. He don't, and first of all, I like the fact that he ain't even trying to wait to pick a spot. You dare back off me if you want to. I'm pulling it. And his percentage is pretty good for us since we got him. And we'll need that more when playoff time comes, more so than we do right now. But he's a luxury to have on our team. Anytime we can have a veteran point guard that can come in and you don't lose anything when he do, because he can score. He can defend a little bit, but he's always up in somebody's face. And then offensively, he's never not around the ball. So he knows how to play basketball, and he kind of fit that Nick grind that we want to steal in all of our players, especially when they get here. So when, Cat get back, Precious, Lord knows, Mitch, but that's a whole nother story for another day. But we showing that we're improving. Knicks are improving, and we had to stay with them upper echelon teams because finally we're one of them. Never in years have we really been considered a contender, and we are. And we are contenders only going to get better. We consider one of the top four, but that second four, Cleveland and Miami and Indiana, we can't take none of them for granted. Every time we play them, we got to look at it as a playoff game. And these are also teams that have knocked us out of the playoffs in previous years. So we got our work cut out for us. But last night's win was a nice win, nice bounce back win. And at the same time, stay away from multiple game losing streaks. And then as the season gel into the middle of the season, we're going to start seeing, the New York Knicks that we all, become now to fall in love with the past couple of years. All right. So again, this is Aaron on Knicks Morning Coffee. You can also see it on Mr. King KMK. And I encourage you to go back and check out some of the other shows and let me know what you think. All right. Until next time, peace.